Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Good evening, everyone. Hare Krishna. So I have a very ancient book in my hand. It's written little, not 500 years ago, but a little less than that. But it's also looking very ancient. See, it's lost its cover. The cover is missing. So it's ancient in that sense too. Not so ancient. I mean, I've had it for about 10 years now. It's starting to fall apart. I've taken good care of it, but anyways, that's just the nature of things. They fall apart. So in this book, it is, I guess you don't know what it is because it doesn't have the front cover, right? So in this book, it's called the Nectar of Instruction. So this is a translation and commentary on a book by Srila Rupa Goswami. So Srila Rupa Goswami, he is a great acharya or great teacher within the line of Gaudiya Vaishnavism or the disciplic succession. And factually, everyone coming after Rupa Goswami, which there's quite a few devotees coming after Rupa Goswami, main acharyas, teachers, and also including those of us who have accepted the teachings of Lord Chaitanya and Krishna. So they're known as Rupanugas. So Rupanugas means followers of Rupa Goswami. So those who are members of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, they're also known as Rupanugas, means followers of Rupa Goswami. Which Rupa Goswami was one of Lord Chaitanya's main, let's say, chief disciples. Lord Chaitanya, Krishna come again 500 years ago. So it means God. in Rupa Goswami, he really understood the heart, or you could say the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu invested within Rupa Goswami all of his transcendental energy to compile such wonderful books as Nectar of Instruction. That's one of them. There are other books, Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu, which is Prabhupada. I don't know what's going on here. Which Prabhupada translated as the Nectar of Devotion, and so many other books. Vidagdha Madhava, Lalita Madhava, so many wonderful books about Krishna's pastimes. So he's a very important personality within this line. So yeah, Nectar of Instruction, and this is Text-4. So Text-4, I'll chant the Sanskrit, and then read the English translation and read some of the purport. Purport's quite long, so we won't read the whole thing. Okay. So if everybody could please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, Text-4. Dadati pratigrinati guyam maikati prichati bhunkte bojayate chaiva shadvidham pratilakshanam. So, the translation. Offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prasad, and offering prasad, which means food offered to Krishna, are the 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another. Purport. In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami explains how to perform devotional activities in the association of other devotees. There are 6 kinds of activities. 1, giving charity to the devotees. 2, accepting from the devotees whatever they may offer in return. 3, opening one's mind to the devotees. 4, inquiring from them about the confidential service of the Lord. 5, honoring prasad or spiritual food given by the devotees. And 6, feeding the devotees with prasad. An inexperienced devotee An experienced devotee explains, and an inexperienced devotee learns from him. This is Guyam Aikati Prichati. When a devotee distributes prasad, remnants of food offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in order to maintain our spirit of devotional service, we must accept this prasad as the Lord's grace received through the pure devotees. We should also invite pure devotees to our home, offer them prasad, and be prepared to please them in all respects. This is called Bhunkte Bojayate Chayava. Even in ordinary social activities, these 6 types of dealings between 2 loving friends are absolutely necessary. For instance, when one businessman or businesswoman wishes to contact another businessman, he arranges a feast in a hotel. And after the feast, openly expresses what he wishes to do. He then inquires from his business friend how he should act, and sometimes presents are exchanged. Thus, whenever there is a dealing of priti, or love and intimate dealings, these 6 activities are executed. In the previous verse, Srila Rupa Goswami advised that one should renounce worldly association and keep company with the devotees. Sangatyagat Satovrite. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness has been established to facilitate these 6 kinds of loving exchanges between devotees. This society was started single-handedly, but because people are coming forward and dealing with the give and take policy, the society is now expanding all over the world. We are glad that people are donating very liberally to the development of the society's activities, and people are also eagerly accepting whatever humble contribution we are giving them in the shape of books and magazines dealing strictly with the subject matter of Krishna consciousness. We sometimes hold Hare Krishna festivals and invite life members and friends to participate in the feasting by accepting prasad. Although most of our members come from the higher rungs of society, they nonetheless come and take whatever little prasad we are able to offer them. Sometimes the members and supporters inquire very confidentially about the methods of performing devotional service, and we try to explain this. In this way, our society is successfully spreading all over the world, and the intelligentsia of all countries is gradually appreciating our Krishna-conscious activities. The life of the Krishna-conscious society is nourished by these 6 types of love and exchange among the members. Therefore, people must be given the chance to associate with the devotees of ISKCON, because simply by reciprocating in the 6 ways mentioned above, an ordinary man can fully revive his dormant Krishna consciousness. In Bhagavad Gita 262 it is stated, Sangha sanjayate kama. One's desires and ambitions develop according to the company one keeps. It is often said that a man is known by his company, and if an ordinary man associates with devotees, he will certainly develop his dormant Krishna consciousness. The understanding of Krishna consciousness is innate in every living entity, and it is already developed to some extent when the living entity takes a human body. It is said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 22:107. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabanoi Shravanara Shuddha Chitte Kura Idoi. Pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the hearts of living entities. It is not something to be gained from another source. When the heart is purified by hearing and chanting, the living entity naturally awakens. Okay, so we'll stop there. There's a few more pages, but you could read that on your free time. Om Jnanatipanandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshulanmaditam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Kam Karidavachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurun Diditarinam Vancha Kalpadribhishcha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I'll just read the translation again. Offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prasad, and offering prasad are the 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another. So by the way, this class is dedicated to our Virgendra Kumar here, sitting by the door. That's his spot. He always sits there. Because he wanted to hear about the topic of loving relationships, so I accepted his advice and decided to speak on this verse. So if you get anything from this talk, you could thank Virgendra Kumar. If you like the talk, you could thank Virgendra Kumar. And if you don't like the talk, it's still his fault. I'm just joking. So there's certain things in this world that have intrinsic value. Means that it has value in the sense that everybody, practically speaking, will agree that it has value. Just like everybody will agree, if they're sane, or even a little sane, that food has value, intrinsic value. Why? Because you need to eat food to live. or people water, right? Everybody needs water. Or sunshine. So many things. So these things have intrinsic value. So similarly, loving relationships have intrinsic value, means they're needed, they're necessary, they're absolutely necessary. Just as food, just as water, just as sunshine is needed. So similarly, these loving relationships are needed for human beings. And there's certain things that, I'm just going to talk about this a little bit, but I'm about to talk about, but there's certain things that don't have intrinsic value, that humans just, with their imaginations, they concoct some type of value onto something. For example, football. Today's the day, right? Football. Football. I'm not talking about those who are from India. I'm not referring to soccer, American soccer. I'm referring to American football. You know, with the throwing the football. It doesn't really have intrinsic value. I mean, I suspect that there's people all over the world who say, yeah, football, I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to think about it. No one's going to die if they don't, watch football or play football. If you don't eat food, then there's going to be a problem, right? So human beings, they have come up with this. Yeah, there's value in this football, right? In this, actual football. And then, guys get together. There's no women on football teams? There is? Now? Oh, but it's not that, like, they're mixed. It's not that they're mixed. No. It's men versus men, right? Okay. But they have women football. Yes, I'm sure they have that. Although that's not so common. I guess women like other sports, it seems like. But yeah, somehow or other this idea came that, yes, it's very important, the football and, guys throwing it back and forth, tackling each other, and somehow it becomes very important. But yeah, it doesn't have intrinsic value. But again, there are things that do. And one of those things is loving relationships. So in a life that is lived without them, that's a miserable life. That's a life of pain and agony, and it's just a terrible life. A life lived without loving relationships. So the idea that's being stated in this verse and purport is that there's a way to engage in these loving relationships with devotees. There's a particular way that we're supposed to engage in these relationships. And by the way, all these relationships that we're having, these loving relationships in this world, they should, or at least it's being advised here, that they should be centered around who? Anyone want to take a guess? Krishna. Yeah, around Krishna, centered around Krishna. So yeah, these are the practical ways that are stated. Offering gifts, accepting gifts, opening one's mind, inquiring from the devotees, right? Honoring prasadam means accepting prasad, spiritual food, and giving prasadam. These are the 6 loving exchanges. So without these loving exchanges, if we claim to have loving relationships with people or with Krishna, if we're not engaging in these 6 forms, it's actually just a dream. The loving relationship's a dream, it's a hallucination, it's theoretical, means it's just some it's just a mental concoction. Means the loving relationship's actually not taking place. Why? Because these 6 these 6 exchanges have to take place. These are the basis of loving relationship, these 6 exchanges. So, if somehow or other, I give this example sometimes, but if a husband, if he says to his wife and his children, "I love you so much, I would do anything for you, I'd sacrifice my life for you. Before I met you, my life was just a complete mess, and now that I met you, I'm so happy, I'm satisfied, and you're the love of my life," all these things, right? All these. But if the husband just literally doesn't do anything, just like sits on the couch, relaxes, watches TV all day or a movie, puts his feet up, and there's no sacrifice. He doesn't do anything, literally. There's people like that, actually. They really don't do anything. Huh? You know someone like that? There's people like that. They really don't do anything. But if they were to say that, "I love you, I love you, I love you," then eventually that person's going to start thinking, "Wow, this person's this person's got a problem, It's a false claim, right? So, if a husband says, "Oh, I love you," and they do something, then that's a good sign, right? They may, whatever, I don't know. They bring them flowers, or they work very hard and produce some results in the form of money. They pay attention to their children, right? That's an important part. Sometimes people don't pay attention to their children. It's really sad, actually. You have to pay attention to your children. Who else is going to pay attention to them? Pay attention to your children. So there has to be some practical ways in which that loving mood, if it's actually there, it has to be expressed. So yeah, that's important to think about. And another thing is that we can't like force, means we cannot try to manipulate or try to somehow or other control the situation and make people like us or something. Like, "Oh, I really want this person to be my friend, I really want him to like me, or I want her to like me," or whatever. So in other words, when we're having a loving relationship with someone, it has to be a two-way street. There has to be reciprocation on both sides. That's also stated within, Rupa Goswami states that in one of his verses. He says that we should advance with devotees, we should associate with devotees who are more advanced than us. Means we got to be a little humble, accept that someone's more advanced than us. Associate with devotees who are more advanced than us and who are like-minded, more advanced than us, and who have a similar affection for Krishna or Srila Prabhupada, and who have affection for us. That's an important part. They have to have affection for us. Or else it's just not going to work. If we're trying to be friends with someone in Krishna consciousness and they're just not wanting it, then you got to find some other friend. I remember when I was somewhere between 5 years old and 10 years old, I was with my father and we were driving down from southern Oregon, Grants Pass, to SanDiego. And we stopped off in LA, my father's friends. And they had a big family. And they had, some girls and some boys and in the family. It means young girls, young boys, and around my age. And somehow or other, some girl, I was only there for like a day or two, but she started to like me. Which I was reflecting on it, I think it's kind of weird because, I was like 5 to 10 years old. I mean, I don't know. It's a little strange, but she started to like me, like a boyfriend-girlfriend type of thing. And I wasn't, I was so young, and I was extremely shy and young, and I'm somewhere between 5 and 10 years old. I mean, you're not into that type of thing when you're that young. Right? You have to wait till you get a little older, then you're into that thing. So I was a little put off by it. I was, this is like kind of weird, like why does this girl like me? And I was trying to get rid of her, And at one point, there, I had the kids coming up to me and say, older kids, oh well, don't you like her? She's a nice girl, and And I said, no, I don't like her. And I said, she's ugly, no, get away. Which she probably wasn't ugly, but maybe it was a tactic I was using. And then they got really offended, and they say, you can't say that. You can't say someone's ugly like that. That's rude. You have to just say, oh, she's not your type or something, And I was like, okay, well, whatever. So this little girl, and again, I thought it was really weird because I was somewhere between 5 and 10, really strange. But this little girl, she wanted to have a relationship with me, whatever that meant. I don't know. I was stopping there in L.A. for a few days and coming down to SanDiego, so I don't know how she wanted to be my girlfriend or whatever. But so she wanted to have a relationship. But I didn't want that. I wasn't interested. So obviously, therefore, it didn't work. So when we are trying to have a friendship or a loving relationship with anyone, then we have to make sure that that person's affectionate towards us as well. So that's what Rupa Goswami is saying in this particular verse I was bringing up. And the relationships that we have in Krishna consciousness, they have to be based on purity. So it means purity of heart. And that also goes for, some of you are married here. Probably most of you are married here. So that means that in the relationships that you have with your spouses, it's the same. It should be the same. Means that you should see them as devotees of Krishna, not just like, oh, this is my husband, or oh, this is my wife, or I know all their faults, I know all their problems, and kind of seeing them, bringing them down onto a mundane platform. So you should see, a wife should see the husband, oh, he's a servant of Krishna. He's not just my husband for the last 20, 30 years. He's a servant of Krishna. And the husband should think also that, oh, this isn't just my wife, and tell her what to do or whatever. But this is a maidservant of Krishna. This is also a servant of Krishna. So that respect has to be there, and that's based on purity. And therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's saying in his Shikshastika, Chaito Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvarpanam Shreya Kaivava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamataswadanam Sarvatmasnapadam Padam Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. So he's saying that this chanting of the holy name of Krishna, what does it do? Is it just for fun? Are we just, gathering in the Hare Krishna temple in Pacific Beach to have a good time? Sing and dance and jump around, but okay, it is a good time, but it specifically says it will purify our heart. And what does that mean? It means that within our heart there may be so many you could say, dirty things. And the dirty things within the heart, which means those things that are in the heart that take us away from Krishna, means undue selfishness, greed, anger, so many different things. It could be a million different things, which translates into us acting in certain ways, means engaging in certain activities that lead to forgetfulness of Krishna. Just like if someone's excessively greedy, it's not that they're just sitting back at their house and they're just, yeah, I'm greedy, right? I'm greedy. Like in other words, it's not just an internal thing, but what's inside translates outside. Means if they're greedy, if within their heart they're greedy, then they're going to be very mad after money, externally, working very hard, like a donkey, right, to get the bucks. Not to give to Krishna for their own enjoyment. So that is greed. And that's a problem because it takes us away from Krishna. Same with anger. It's not that people are just sitting back and they're angry. No, it manifests externally in one's actions. Like one of my friends said he was taking a walk here on the boardwalk, and he was walking, and some guy, he saw some guy in front of him walking, and another guy kind of jumped right out of an unseen place. He jumped right in front of him, and then this guy who was walking and saw the guy jump. His fist immediately clenched, and he was about to punch him. Now, I would say, okay, you could say that's a kind of natural, reaction or something, but I mean, the guy obviously had some, fighting tendency within him. I mean, I wouldn't do that. I would just, I'm not claiming I'm free from anger and all that, but, so my point is that what's inside will come out eventually, in the right circumstances. Just like it said, Srila Prabhupada gives example that you put a dog on a throne. Okay, it's a nice throne. Like, here we have a nice seat, which I want to call it a throne, but Vyasa-san, which it says it's a nice seat because the speaker is supposed to be representing Vyasadeva. So Vyasadeva is the original writer of the Vedas and great Acharya. So you're supposed to be representing. So that's why the respectful seat's given. But you put a dog here, and you throw a bone, and what will happen? Is the dog going to sit there and, cross his paws, right? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. The dog's going to jump off the throne and go for the bone, right? So why? Because he's a dog. That's his nature. So similarly, the nature will, what's inside our heart will manifest externally. So some people think, oh, it's not a problem. My anger, my lust, my anger, my greed, my this, my that. It's not a problem. No, it is a problem. Why? Because it manifests externally, and in those external activities, they definitely will lead to forgetfulness of Krishna. Means forgetfulness, which practically means forgetfulness of who we are, because we're servants of Krishna. Jiva Swarup Hoy Krishna Nityadas, we're eternal servants of Krishna. So it means these things, with these dirty things within our heart, they are preventing us they are barring us from Krishna, and they're barring us from our very self. Means it's a state of bewilderment, actually, which produces a lot of pain and suffering. Speaking from experience here. So therefore, Chaito Darpana Marjanam, cleansing the heart. And then when all these dirty things are cleansed from the heart, then what's left? A pure heart. And if one has a pure heart, or even just a little bit pure heart, even just slightly pure heart, then it's easier to have loving relationships. It actually works. It works. Loving relationships works. Our loving propensities will flow very strongly and naturally to those persons it's supposed to. And our loving propensities will also flow very naturally towards Krishna. Or else all these dirty things in the heart, they're like a dam, which, the water's trying to flow, but it's getting caught, right, by that dam. Maybe there's a little like a little what is it called? Little crack in the dam, and some water's flowing out in that loving relationship, but there's problems there. There's a clog. Water that's not flowing. So yeah, we have to soften our heart. And this is what Srila Prabhupada's bringing up in the purport, Chaito Darpana Marjanam. So yeah, again, these are practical ways in which we could, hey, look, there's the cover. I found the cover. I don't know how I'm going to put it back on, but Nectar of Instruction. I was saying it's a very ancient book for those of you who came late. See, the cover has fallen off, so we found the cover here. So these are practical ways in which we could engage in loving relationship. And yeah, we should ask ourselves, okay, when's the last time I gave somebody a gift? It doesn't have to be an expensive gift. I don't give expensive gifts because I don't have much money to spend. But I give gifts, nonetheless. Something, some small gift, whatever I could give. I do. I try to regularly. And I accept gifts, so if anybody wants to give me gifts, I accept too. Because that's what Rupa Goswami is saying to do, right? He's saying to give gifts, accept gifts. And I open my mind to people. I'm opening my mind to all of you right now, so it's a form of love and exchange. People inquire from me regularly. Sometimes they reveal all types of things that, their problems, this and that. I asked somebody recently, I said, I was a little disturbed because, I had a few people on one day, they told me a bunch of things about themselves, which was like their problems. It's kind of like disturbing to me. So I asked one devotee, I said, why do people come up, I'm like a target or something, like people come up to me and they just like start unloading all this regularly, like what's going on? And then one devotee, I think it was Yamunapati Prabhu, he said, oh, well, you have that type of nature, people feel comfortable, so they could come up to you. I don't know, maybe I'm saying the wrong thing, right, No, I'm just joking. No, if anybody wants to tell me something, I'll hear it. Feel free. Open invitation. Well, I try to be, but it's open invitation. Anyone want to tell me their problems? I'll be available after the talk. Okay. And giving prasad and accepting prasad. So that's a simple thing to do. Means if you know how to like sometimes people cook things and they give it to devotees. It's a nice gesture. And Prabhupada's making an important point here that we should accept. Because, for example, you go to India, it's a common thing. You go to so many temples or you visit so many devotees, or sometimes devotees come back from India and they say, oh, hey, I got some prasadam from a holy place. Here, take a little bit. And sometimes it's actually against the rules, right? If you say, oh, no, that's okay. I'm diabetic, or I'm not hungry, or I had my share earlier, or something. But you just accept it, even if you just accept a little piece or like that, because Prabhupada's saying it's a loving exchange. So therefore, you have to accept it. If you don't accept it, then it's like you hurt the person's feelings, so it doesn't work. Like I gave a little loving exchange to Jamal earlier. Remember what I gave you? What did I give you? You were just eating? I gave him a bag of popcorn. And I like popcorn. So it wasn't like a gift that was like, oh, well, I don't really like this, and I'm not going to eat this, and this is like stale or something. But it was fresh popcorn. Relatively fresh, means made last night. And I like popcorn, so I gave it to him. So, and I'm glad that you had it. This wasn't staged, by the way. It was just, anyways. So, and just by, so yeah, we should ask ourselves, oh, when did I give a gift to somebody last time? Right? When's the last gift I gave to someone? Or when's the last time I revealed my mind to someone? Or when's the last time I gave someone prasad? Or accepted gift, accepted prasad. So these things should be done as much as possible. We don't have to wait till Christmas or some special holiday to express these different types of things. And by doing this, by chanting and associating with devotees, the heart, which at one point may have been very hard, means many dirty things in the heart, it becomes cleansed and it becomes very soft. And there's one devotee I'm thinking about in relation to this. He's a very good devotee, very solid devotee, very Krishna conscious, very Prabhupada conscious, and just a overall nice person, right? He's living in Mayapur now. He retired. He's living in Mayapur. I don't remember if I've said this little story here recently, but I'll say it now. And so it's it's February, so I won't say it for the rest of the year, okay? One time this year. So, story is that there was this young boy, Italian boy, and he was a rough guy. Means a bit of a hoodlum, gangster type of guy. And he didn't like Hare Krishna, and he didn't like Hare Krishnas at all. Actually, it was quite the opposite. He, in so many ways, hated them. And again, what was in the heart was expressed externally. So what he would do is when he would see the devotees chanting in Philly, downtown Philly, Philadelphia, what would he do? He would get rocks and he would throw them at the devotees, right? Devotees have that experience. Sometimes they said they'd be doing Harinam, back in the 80s. And I don't know, somehow in the 80s, people seemed a little bit more anti-Krishna, but I haven't had this happen to me, but they said they'd be doing Harinam and there'd be people in the high-rise, they'd be throwing things down, beer cans and all types of stuff at the devotees. Eggs. Oh, Jamal almost got egged the other day. He was walking here in Pacific Beach. They threw eggs at him. They tried to. They missed him. He wasn't dressed like this, though, so it wasn't like they're after. Yeah. So this person, he would harass the devotees, and he didn't like them at all. So then one particular day, this brahmachari, he's this big, strong Irish brahmachari, monk brahmachari. He went up to this boy and he said, "Oh, here, take a book, this and that," and then this boy, Italian boy, he started to mouth off to this brahmachari. "Oh, you guys are just a bunch of whatever words he was using. Probably some foul language there, I would suspect. Some 4-letter words, I suspect." And this Irish brahmachari just said, he was a strong guy, and he pointed at him and he said, "You're nothing but a punk," and he like chastised him, and told him, "You're nothing but a punk," and he just kept on walking, this brahmachari. And then this Italian boy, he was thinking, you know what? He's right. I'm nothing but a punk. He said, you know what, I'm just a bad guy, you know. And then he said that he went and he searched for that brahmachari, and he found him. And he said, you know what, I really appreciate what you told me. You put me in my spot, and I want to buy a book from you. So here's some money. Please give me a book. So he took one of Prabhupada's books. And then he read Prabhupada's books. He visited the temple, and he became a devotee. And he, throughout his life, he spent his life as a devotee, and he's still a devotee, and he's there in Mayapur. And his name is Upadesamrta. Why? Because he just meditates a lot on Prabhupada. He has like pictures of Prabhupada everywhere. He's always thinking about Prabhupada, listening to Prabhupada. And another thing was quite moving about Prabhupada. I wish I would have recorded this, because maybe when I see him in Mayapur next time, I'll ask him to tell me the story and record it, because it's actually quite emotional and moving. I'm not going to say that when I say it's going to be, but anyways, when he said it was like, because it was his experience. But he said that he himself was having, even after becoming a devotee, he was having severe problems with anger, just very angry. You get angry with the devotees. So what he said is, he said, I need to get rid of this. So he came up with this idea that I'm just going to listen to Prabhupada as much as possible. So I'm going to listen to, in the morning when I get up and I'm getting ready, Prabhupada. When I'm taking a shower, Prabhupada. When I'm cooking my breakfast, Prabhupada. When I'm driving to work, Prabhupada. When I'm coming back, when I'm eating at home, when I'm going to sleep, when I'm sleeping, Prabhupada. Prabhupada lectures, Prabhupada kirtans, Prabhupada. And he said that from listening to Srila Prabhupada, the founder of the Hare Krishna movement, I mean, there's so many recordings Prabhupada recorded, but he said that transcendental voice, that transcendental message, that transcendental kirtan, he felt that Prabhupada performed like an exorcism on him. Means that the ghost that was haunting him for so many years of anger just was removed, from Prabhupada's strong voice. So yeah, that's proof. That's one example amongst many. There's many examples that by associating with devotees, by chanting, by hearing the transcendental message, one heart becomes cleansed, soft-hearted. So, whatever degree, I'm not gonna, I'm not second guessing everybody here. That's not my business. I'm not wearing I'm not part of the jury or something, or I'm not a judge or something. I'm not second guessing anybody here, but we could think ourselves, okay, to what degree is my heart soft? To what degree is my heart receptive to Krishna, to the devotees? To what degree do I appreciate the devotees? To what degree do I appreciate Krishna? And based on that honest analysis, we can move forward. And if we learn how to appreciate the devotees, then we'll learn how to appreciate Krishna. And if someone says, hey, well, my heart is soft, my heart is clean as a whistle, my heart is pure, right, as the morning dew, my heart is pure as a beautiful cloud on a clear day. Okay, fine, if you want to say that, but there's no limit to perfection. You can keep on perfecting yourself. And the powerful process for perfecting ourselves in this particular age, which is an age of complete confusion and bewilderment with all the, we won't save that for next time. The process is Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabanoy Shravanara Shuddha Chitte Koriyadoy. So Prabhupada quotes that in the last section of the purport we read. That by hearing and chanting about who? Mr. Trump? Mr. Modi? Some movie star? Some politician? Some actress? Some this? Some that? No. By hearing and chanting about Krishna, one's heart becomes cleansed. One's heart becomes purified. By hearing and chanting about Krishna. Why? Because it's naturally within the heart. It just comes out. provided we hear and chant about Krishna. So that's what's being stated in the last verse. So that's the process, hear and chant about Krishna. And then naturally everything unfolds from that hearing and chanting about Krishna. Okay, so does anybody have any problems you'd like to tell me? No, I'm just joking. Does anyone have any questions or comments or anything you'd like to say? Forever hold your peace. This is one opportunity you have tonight for this particular talk. It's never coming back.
Hare Krishna. I was just going to share another story similar to the one he told about Prabhupada. Guru Kripa Prabhu, when he first came to the temple, there was a devotee in San Francisco who helped put together on Prabhupada's order, the Rath Yatra festival. So his name was Jayananda Prabhu, and he was also a pretty big, strong fella. But he was working on the Lord's carts, and Guru Kripa Prabhu, Guru Krishna Prabhu didn't do this. This is Guru Kripa Prabhu. He was going there with the aim of actually trying to start a fight with the devotees. And he was, kind of a strong gangster kind of looking fella at the time. So he went up to Jayananda, and Jayananda saw him coming and said, "Hey, you look like a pretty strong fellow. Can you come give me a hand?" And he just started doing service with Jayananda, and it just totally transformed his heart. And he joined Krishna consciousness. So here's another sweet story kind of along the same line.
Yeah. And this Guru Kripa, he helped build the Vrindavan temple, collecting so much funds to build the Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan. You could go there, everybody could go, should go. And if you already went, you should go again. Wonderful temple he helped build. I was thinking of another devotee. His name was Sridhar Swami, Prabhupada disciple, Sridhar Swami. And he was originally from Canada, but he was like a big guy and kind of tough guy as well. It said that what he would do, his way of making money, he would go down to kind of like a Pacific Beach or a downtown, and he would wait for the drunks to come out, the drunk men. Wait for the drunk men to come out, and he would hit them, and they would fall on the ground, and he would take their wallet, and that's how he would make his, make his money like that. So he was a tough guy, and he heard about the devotees, and he saw the devotees out distributing books. And, the devotees had a book table, and they had pictures of Krishna, right? Krishna playing the flute, and these beautiful pictures of Krishna. And then this Sridhar Swami, he came up to the table before he was a devotee. He came up to the table, and he said, in his kind of challenging way, he says, "What is this picture here?" And there's a devotee there, and the picture said, "Oh, that's a picture of Krishna." And then Sridhar, and then he said, "Oh yeah, who's Krishna?" He said, the devotee said, "Oh, he's God." And then he said, "Oh really? A picture of God? How is that?" And he said, "Well, this is we accept this as God, And then this boy said, "Oh yeah, well, what would you do if I pick that picture up and I just rip it right in front of you? What would you do?" And then the devotee said, "Oh, if you do that, I'd have to kill you." And then Sridhar, before he was Sridhar, so he said, "I like these people, these people are nice, Of course, the devotee was, exaggerating. He wouldn't, but but he became a devotee, and he became a really good devotee, and he helped in India so much. He was one of Prabhupada's right-hand men, helping build the Juhu temple. He became a Swami, and he was known as the Jolly Swami. But yeah. The thing about Sridhar Swami said that our Yudhishthira here in SanDiego, Yudhishthira is a big, big Yudi, you call him here in SanDiego. He doesn't come around so much. He lives up in Escondido. He's a little sick or whatever. So he said that Sridhar Swami used to let Yudhishthira hit him in the arm after he became a Swami. He would say, "Hey, Yudhishthira, hit me." And then Yudhishthira would just, hit him as hard as he could, right to the arm. And then Sridhar Swami had said, "Oh, it feels like a fly hit my arm, like, did something hit my arm? So anyways, he was an interesting, kind of different Swami, but, so, yeah, there's so many nice stories. So does anyone have a last comment or question? Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, and Hare Krishna.